All right, I'm going to do some cooking here. Dusty Slay, we're having a good time. I got my Instapot here, and I wanted to show you, if you're wondering what the TSA is up to, people say, oh, you travel with an Instapot like it's a bomb, right? I think one person used it as a bomb one time somewhere. Now everybody's like, oh, you can't do that, and I've been doing it. But this is what they do. Look at this. Look at this dent and this dent. I mean, what's the TSA doing? They're not being gentle with things, that's for sure. So I don't know how long I can keep this going. I mean, this may not even work now for all I know. Oh, it came on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook some stuff. I got a green pepper, an onion, some garlic, and I've got some carrots. These carrots froze in the fridge. It's hard as a rock. And then I got some organic chicken. I'm at a hotel in Toledo, Ohio. I walked over a mile to a grocery store, to a Churchill's, to get groceries. And then I walked like a mile back. So I'm very dedicated to cooking in my hotel room. So I'm about to get into it. This time I'm not at look at this. I'm not at the window sill. I'm at the desk. The window sill, you can see, is very small, so I can't get over there to it. So I'm going to do what I can here. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up some vegetables. I also brought a knife. You can bring a knife on a plane too. You just have to check it in your bags. You can bring anything you want, really, but you just can't. You can't bring it in your carry-on. I can't be like, I got a little knife right here. So I'm going to cut this things up, and I'm going to put this into this Instapot, and it's pretty dirty in there. It's not dirty, but I packed some honey, and my honey spilled out in there, but I'm kind of into it. I want to see, there's honey all over this thing. I want to see if the honey will give it a little extra zest. So here we go. Okay. You'll want to wash your hands before doing this, so they say. I mean, I didn't, but that's what they say. And if this were a real cooking video, I would be like, oh, definitely wash your hands. But I don't care if you wash your hands or not. I think all this washing hand stuff is overrated, right? I mean, what are we doing out here? What am I really handling on a day-to-day basis? I got in trouble today because I made a tweet to DiGiorno, and DiGiorno come at me about how to spell their name like I speak Italian. You know what I mean? That's not what I do. So now we have our peppers cut up, and now I'm going to cut up some onions. Now, I don't know how people do things, but I always just cut right down the middle, and then I rip off that outer layer, and then I just cut some strips, little onion strips, like this, and then I'm just going to drop that in there. Because my hope is that the pressure cooker just cooks this stuff to death, and then it doesn't matter the shape of it or what's going on, Let's do a little more onion in there. I dropped this on the floor, but I'm still going to put it in there. I know it's a hotel. I know it's gross. And then I got a little garlic this time. I love garlic. I am into it. I am all about garlic. They say garlic keeps the vampires away, right? So I don't know where that came from, but it's got to mean something, right? I mean, you don't come up with some weird theory like that out of nowhere, right? I mean, are there vampires? Are there real vampires? I don't know. Maybe this was something that like fathers used to tell their daughters. They put a lot of garlic on, and that way dudes wouldn't try to hit on them. Not a bad theory. I just came up with it right now. Yeah, with garlic you get all these little things, and then you gotta peel that off. Garlic's not easy. It's not easy to deal with, and then you really smell it in here. I mean, this room will smell delicious now. When the maid comes in here on Monday, because I don't let them in every day. When she comes in here on Monday, she is not going to be happy. But I don't leave a mess. I'm not a messy person. And then you get because this is what it starts off looking like, and then you get it all like this. And then I like to cut that up. Not quite as thin as in the movie Goodfellas. You know, that guy he really got out the razor blade on it. I don't carry razor blades around with me. And I also don't feel like it's necessary to get the garlic that thin. I mean, was it really that special? Great movie. You know what I didn't like about that movie, Goodfellas? Is in the end, the guy that snitched on everyone, like, he got away. I mean, he was in witness protection, but it's like, he ratted everyone out. They told him not to get into drugs, and then he did. Ray Liotta's great, though. He was in Blow. He was Johnny Depp's dad in Blow. That was pretty fun. And then he was in Wild Hogs. You ever see that? That great movie with Tim Allen, William H. Macy. Epic. John Travolta. One of the best. One of the best. Then I got a few carrots. Look at these things. That's frozen. I got the knife, but I like cutting the carrots this way. I think that's fun. This is a meal for one here. If I were cooking this for people, I might not bite it. I might, but I might not. Then I bought myself a little pink Himalayan salt. Very fancy. I like salt. I think salt's good. It's good for us, I think. Like, I remember I used to read in history class, and they were like, people in the desert, they needed salt more than they needed water and stuff like that. I don't remember. I didn't pay attention all that well. And then I'm like, we don't need salt now, and they're like, you get enough salt in the food that you eat. And I'm like, well, what if I don't eat food with a lot of salt in it? Is that still true? And then I got a little organic black peppercorns here. Oh yeah. Now let's get into this chicken. I'm just going to do both. I don't feel like I need to eat both right now. This looks disgusting. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it otherwise. So I'm going to make it both. I put the chicken in there. Chicken's in there. I'm going to put a little water in here. I don't know how much water to put. Everything's in there. I also don't know how long to put it in there. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to put a little extra honey in there. Just for fun. I don't even know what that's going to do. I don't know what kind of effect honey will have. But you know what? I like honey. I think it's delicious. So I'm going to put it on there. And then, let's see, I brought a little thing here to stir. There. There we have it. Chicken on the bottom. We got water in there. We got vegetables. We got everything we need. I'm going to put a little extra salt, a little extra pepper, and then we're going to fire this mug up. And we put this lid on there. You want to make sure this thing is set to not venting. You want it to not, you don't want it to be venting. You don't want this thing telling you all its problems right now. You let that happen later, but you got to let it build up pressure. I think that's a good analogy for life, right? You let it build up pressure, and then you let all that out all at once. You don't let it out slowly over time. You let it build up until it's at its peak moment, and then you let it all out. That's the best way to express your anger to someone, is after it's built up over time. So we want to go pressure cook, and then that's too long. Let's do 10 minutes. Maybe you're saying to yourself, why, Dusty? Why? Why are you cooking this inside your hotel room? Why not just go to a restaurant and have some food like everyone else? Well, I'm tired of restaurants. I've eaten out at so many restaurants. I've been to every restaurant. I've had them all. It's all the same thing, right? And I took a food allergy test a while back, and I'm allergic to everything in the squash family. I'm allergic to bread. I'm allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to egg yolks. I'm allergic to pineapples. So I'm just trying to live out here. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to eat well. I'm back on meat, which is exciting. That's why I get to eat chicken. I prefer beef, to be honest with you. I like red meat. I'm a big fan of it. But I tried to cook some beef in the pressure cooker last time, and it did not turn out well. Okay, it's been several minutes. It says it'll be 10 minutes, but then the pressure has to build. So it's been, probably 15 to 20 minutes. And now we're going to let the steam out. Okay, now we've done. I've done it for 10 minutes, but I don't feel satisfied with where the chicken's at, so I'm gonna cook it longer. And what I've done now is I pulled all the chicken off the bone, and then I put it back into the Instapot, into kind of a stew, and I'm gonna put the lid back on it, and I'm just gonna let that cook in there for a while, really soak up that juice. Delicious. Look at that. All right, now we've got chicken and vegetables here. Carrot. Really good. Chicken. Green peppers, very overcooked. But delicious. I got delicious food. I'll add a little more salt because I love salt. Delicious food right here in my hotel room that I cook myself. That's what I'm talking about. There's no need to worry about going down to a restaurant when I can walk 1.5 miles to a grocery store to pick up some food and then walk 1.5 miles back. All right, now what I'm going to do, and I don't even know if you're allowed to do this. I don't know if this is okay, but I'm going to make some rice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix. It's 1-to-1 ratio with rice in the pressure cooker. So what I'm going to do is 1 cup of organic long grain rice. I brought this with me. So I'm going to do 1 cup of this inside the pressure cooker. And then what I have is 1 cup of chicken broth from what I just made. So I'm going to pour that in there. I'm going to add just a touch of extra water. And I don't know if you're allowed to do this. I don't know if you can do chicken broth and mix it with rice, but I thought how delicious that could potentially be. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I could have let the rice set for a bit longer, I think. It still came out a bit crunchy, but very tasty. I mean, I recommend that, mixing up that chicken broth with that. Hotel living. Now we got it all set. I got chicken, I got rice, I got vegetables, I got football. What do you need? What do you need, you know?